and TradesFuture updates. We'll start in just a couple minutes. Well, good afternoon now, and welcome to today's presentation at Toolbox Tuesday. Glad you're here and being able to be a part of it. Going to give just another minute for a few more to join, and looks like we were expecting maybe just a few more. So let's give them just another minute here, and then we can jump in and get started. And like that, we see people are joining, which is great. Great. All right, so I have a minute after. Let's go ahead and get going officially now for the presentation. Again, welcome to Toolbox Tuesday, NCCER and Trades Future updates. On the second Tuesday of each month, excluding holiday weeks, Illinois Works Pre-Apprenticeship Program hosts an optional 1-hour session to all grantee staff members. These sessions are really designed around the needs of grantees and the opportunities for all attendees to grow in their metaphorical toolbox. So we're all trying to grow our toolbox. The past session topics have included women in construction, marketing, recruitment for pre-apprenticeship programs, navigating IWRS, from lead to follow-up, building transition relationships with union, non-union reps, among others. So if you're interested and you're joining, this may be your first session, just want to let you know there's others out there that you could take advantage of on our Illinois WorkNet. This session is being recorded and wanted to make you aware of that in case you didn't pick up on that when you logged in. Illinois Works pre-apprenticeship program is really blessed to have an outstanding team of dedicated, committed members. My name is Dr. Jeff Doolittle. I'm going to be your virtual production host today, and I'm also a program coach and training analyst for Illinois Works. We have Dr. Norman Ruano, who is our leader. He's a deputy director of Illinois Works. Two of our grant managers, Mr. Dan Martinez and Monica Pruitt, help make up our team. We have Dr. Gia Suggs, who's actually on the call today as well. Gia is our professional development lead, training analyst, and program coach. And then we have Dr. Anna Bedard and Dr. Carlita Alston as well that round out our professional development team and join from time to time. You see them either as program coaches or on webinars that we produce. So again, we are glad to have you here. Wanted you to know we have a team here to help support you, and we're behind you in continued learning and development. Today's outline is pretty straightforward. Again, we're dialing in on NCCER updates and trades futures updates. And we are going to have a couple guest speakers. We're going to also then have some time at the end, like we do after every session, for a session evaluation, and we'll be looking for your feedback on that as well. So without ado, let me go ahead and jump into introductions. We're going to have Kathy Tyler. Kathy is our point of contact for NCCER. She is the Director of Workforce Development, Accreditation, and Customer Service. And Kathy, you want to say hello?
Sure. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for allowing us to share some things about NCCER today. And I look forward to connecting and then answering any questions that you might have. So again, thank you for having us and thank you for all that you do.
Thank you, Kathy. And Kathy will be back in just a minute as we jump into her presentation. Up next here, our second guest speaker is Jack McCuse. Jack is a data manager for TradesFuture, a part of their leadership team, and he's going to be presenting on the updates to TradesFuture. And Jack, do you want to come on and say hello?
Yeah, absolutely. Just want to say thank you for having me today. Excited to talk a little bit about trades futures and our curriculum, the MC3. So thanks again for having me, and thanks for all the work everyone on this call is doing.
Thank you, Jack. And we are, again, really thankful to have both of you here today. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get into NCCER, and we're going to have Kathy talk to us about that program. So, in the updates.
Thank you. And thank you for moving my PowerPoint along. And so I'm just going to have you go on to the next slide.
Sure.
Thanks so much. So as we are, looking at just who we are and what we do, I think it's always important to kind of acknowledge what NCCER's mission and vision is. We are the National Center for Construction, Education, and Research. Our mission is to provide rigorous and relevant workforce development solutions that create opportunities for individual career advancement and that support the industry's growth. Our vision is a qualified and successful workforce of diverse individuals whose lives were improved through construction education. That's huge for us, is really thinking about how we can improve people's lives, their families' lives through construction education. And so as we look at just who we are a not-for-profit. I think that's important for folks to understand, is we are a not-for-profit education foundation. Started back in 1996. And I'm not going to read through all of these, but what is important is that we've got standardized training and credentialing in more than 40 craft areas, and then also in a full leadership series of safety and project management and superintendent and foreman and other areas that help to develop people so that they understand that there's more than just being a laborer within the industry. Then if we'll move on, this is just who our board of trustees is. I'm not going to read through every one of these, but what I do want you guys to understand is that these are groups of individuals that their companies, their leadership, they are supporting NCCER. This is who our bosses are. They're giving us the guidance for where we go and where we're going to be in the future. And then I love to outline who our partners are. Just being able to look at that next slide is who our partners are. And these are the folks that are also helping us to be able to do more within the industry, whether it's a foundation or a partner that's, an industry partner that you guys, you go shopping at Lowe's, you would maybe purchase DeWalt. So these are other organizations that support NCCER's mission and vision. And then our scope. This is everywhere that NCCER has programs. So within education, government, industry, the workforce, we have got programs in all of these areas. And so we are working hard within all of these different industry channels and partner channels to ensure that the ability to earn an industry recognized credential through NCCER is possible. And then we talk a little bit about our credentials. What I love is that we have diversified down to where every single module or chapter of training in an NCCER program earns a credential. So not only could you earn a credential for completing all of a craft, and let's just say it's core or carpentry, level 1, level 2, electrical, whatever it might be, but every single chapter in the curriculum also earns what is now a digital credential. And so if you go to the next slide, we're going to talk about just what those digital credentials look like. So we are partnered up with Credly and from the badging perspective. And so every student can claim their badge, share it out on social media, start building their resume in our Career Starter platform, which really does bring entry-level positions to our industry partners. And so these digital badges are also part of what we offer. So we like to highlight those. So let's start talking about the curriculum. We do have curriculum in over 40 craft areas. These are developed with subject matter experts from the industry. This is not NCCER putting this curriculum together. We have partners out there that are offering up their industry experts, their folks that are working in the field to help to make sure that our curriculum is as up to date as possible. All of our curriculum meets or exceeds the industry standards for DOL, Office of Apprenticeship Requirements. So we've got registered pre-apprenticeships, we have apprenticeships, all are able to build out programs using the NCCER. We've got just regular craft training happening. We've got opportunities to build what we need for industry. So being able to take that competency-based modular format and then flexibly build out a program based on what our industry partners need. So it could be, you guys are likely teaching core and maybe some level 1s of a program, but we have the ability to build out very specific training for someone that maybe needs something out of core and safety and out of heavy equipment and out of heavy highways. So that is the flexibility of the program in addition to the standardized way that we offer the training. So that's just important to note. Our next slide really does cover the resources. NCCER is a plug and play opportunity. We have lesson plans and PowerPoints and all of the performance tasks outlined for you. We do have other translations. I believe that everything you guys need to be doing is in English, but just the fact that we have got all kinds of interactive ebooks online, blended learning opportunities for students that maybe need to have something read out loud in addition to being able to read it. Digital versions if it's needed through an e-text. So just the flexible opportunity, all of the resources that are available. I was sitting with an older gentleman that was a welding instructor, and he told me that the worst part of his job was building out his lesson plans. And I was like, you don't know that we have full lesson plans already built for you? And I thought I'd made his day. He's called me I don't know how many times because he's so excited about the opportunity to have lesson plans that were built out for him that he can just mix and match in whatever order he needs to, but it's already done for him. So we do really talk about our curriculum as a plug and play opportunity. We did want to talk a little bit about NCCER Connect. We're not going to dive really heavy into this, so if I do have more slides, we'll probably move past them. But the Connect, for an instructor, there is an NCCER Connect available to you. And what's really fantastic about core, and these are for the students as well, but if you are required to utilize print textbooks, you have that opportunity. And then also you could add the Connect onto that. But for an instructor, all of your lesson plans and your PowerPoints are built into the NCCER Connect. And let's just talk about for core. There are videos for every single performance task that you are able to utilize while you are teaching. There are about 30 extra videos that help to teach the math, the construction math. There is all kinds of AI and virtual reality that's built in, especially based around the rigging and I think around the drawings. And so there are very cool opportunities for the Connect for you as an instructor. There's quizzes that are already built. There are sample tests. There's classroom activities all built into the Connect that come free for you as an instructor. So if you're not utilizing this, let me know. We can get you set up with free access to the Connect so that you can actually add that into your classroom instruction. So we don't necessarily have to go through the next one. This really just tells you a little bit more. If your students are using it, there's tracking and engagement that you can see what they're doing, but we can move through a couple of these. I just wanted you all to be aware of Connect if you have questions. So here's a little bit of the curiosity with augmented reality. We do have companies like Senar and Miller that bring AR into the classroom, and that's part of the core program and also our welding program. So if we move on to online testing and our performance app, NCCER moved to all online testing a few years ago. If you go to the next slide, we want to talk to just the online testing system.
Hey, Kathy,
I'm sorry.
if I can, Kathy, I'm jumping just real quick. I noticed Daryl had a question. You mentioned, is that the NCCER Connect or Pearson Connect was his question?
They're the same. The NCCER Connect Pearson is our book publishing partner. And so if you have access to NCCER Connect, it will be through Pearson. And as an instructor, I can get you free access to that. So you all just let me know, because it's for you. You can go access all the videos, all of that, and utilize that in the classroom.
Thanks, Kathy.
Sure, absolutely. So let's move on to online testing. The beauty of the online testing is there are multiple test versions, so your students are not taking the same test. It automatically scrambles those questions. The other thing that we love is the training prescriptions. There is a training prescription for every single student. So if your student does not pass their test, they have a personalized training prescription that leads them back to the exact section that they missed questions from. As an instructor, I like to talk about the training prescriptions because I could go look and see if every student in my class missed a question out of section 2.1.1. That might give me an opportunity as an instructor to look at, do I need to deliver something a little differently? Do we need to do this maybe more in the lab because the students are not picking up on what's in the text? So it gives me an opportunity to use it as an instructor to think about what am I delivering, but it also gives the students a direct area that they can go back and study, or that you could do focused remediation with them before they retest. So it is an electronic format. It creates, it launches, it scores, and it submits the tests online. No more of that paper-based where you've got to grade tests and then go submit those manually. The web-based format, there's no special software or hardware that you need to download. There's a proctor station where you are authorizing the student to test, and you can track where they are in their testing. And then it automatically conforms to all devices, laptops, tablets, Chromebooks, MacBooks, et cetera. And it's used on all major browsers. So that is the online testing. Moving forward with the performance app, performance profiles are accessible by any instructor from our instructor toolbox, or they are in your NCCER Connect. Those can be administered electronically, up to 5 students evaluated at a time. And then you enter those directly into the performance app. If you wanted to collect those on paper, you still have an opportunity to submit all of your paper performances through the app. And it's not a laborious process. So it's relatively easy. Again, this is a web-based platform, no special software or hardware, and it does have that same responsive design. And in fact, I think you can utilize our performance app as an instructor. I think you have the opportunity to use that on your phone. Students may not test on their phone, but I think you have the ability to capture the performance through your phone. Any questions or comments there?
None so far, Kathy.
Okay, fantastic. So let's move on to the curriculum. I think it's just nice to be able to share what's available now, what's coming in the future. Even if this doesn't necessarily correlate to the program that you're doing right now. If you happen to be an instructor elsewhere, these are the things that are available. So if you go to the next slide, we have what's available now that was new. We did reformat our carpentry program. So the advanced carpentry frame and finish is now available. We have been updating all of our curriculum. And in fact, I think, I hate that I don't have the stat right on the tip of my tongue, but almost all of our #1 titles that are used will have been updated with a 2021 date or moving beyond. So really updated curriculum. So welding, we've been updating the 6th edition, levels 2 through 4 available now. Industrial maintenance mechanic, all 4 levels. Electrical obviously is updated based on NEC code. And so we've got the electrical 11th edition, level 1. We've been translating certain curriculum just based on need. We got a whole new solar program that's been updated and is being released. And then we've also got some of that leadership, the mentoring for craft professionals. We're offering that online now. So those are just some of our what's available now that we've been working on. Next slide shows coming late 2024, early 2025. We've got drywall and HVACR and plumbing, field safety, pipe laying, heavy equipment operations. Our brand new heavy equipment operations is updated. We're super excited about that. And then you can see what we are putting into that NCCER Connect, which again is the online version with all of the extra added video, the quizzes, all of the activities, the self-guided learning. Those are all the programs that are going to be put into NCCER Connect. And then we've also just launched a new foreman certification program as well. So just for you guys to understand a whole lot more about what NCCER has to offer. And then we've got what are our future releases. We just signed an agreement with the Ag Council and FFA. So we will have new agricultural technology training and credentials coming out. We're super excited about that. We've got power line worker, the rest of the carpentry coming out. We're working on electronic systems technician. Some of our safety series is being updated. The rest of HEO, the masonry, the rigger and advanced rigger. So a lot of things that are happening within the NCCER curriculum titles. So just to give you all a little preview. Let's go to workforce development. I love to share these slides because what I think is most important about these is that these show why you are so important and what you're doing in your programs is so important to NCCER and to the industry. And so really understanding the large number of people, the huge gap in our numbers of craft professionals that are needed in the industry. So if you look at this construction employment outlook, over 1.5 million jobs have been added to the industry in the last 10 years. 500,000 craft jobs are needed to be filled per year. 61% of contractors have experienced project delays due to a shortage of craft professionals. It's huge. This is again, why what you're doing is so important. If you look at the next slide, crafts in demand in the US. So the US construction industry employs 8.1 million workers. These are the top 10 in-demand crafts. I love to point this out because craft laborer, which is that entry-level person entering the industry, has the highest demand. And then you can look at the rest of these. A lot of these are what is taught by our high school programs, taught by our community college programs, carpentry, masonry, heavy equipment, not so much iron worker, not so much the boiler maker and pipe fitter, but electricians, roofers, painters. These are major titles that can be taught by high schools, by adult and basic ed programs. These are things that can actually be woven into those community college programs. So we just like to share what are those top 10 in-demand crafts. And then we're dealing with the aging workforce. If you look at just the expected age attrition, and this is looking at industrial craft disciplines retirement age of around 59. And then the engineering and the project management disciplines, the retirement age is about 64. Looking at the expected attrition within 15 years, 61.1% of our industrial craft disciplines will be retiring. So this is from our CLMA, the Construction Labor Market Analyzer. This is from their Foresight report. In addition, data sources from BLS. So if you guys, again, anything that we share, you guys are welcome to use. If you all are looking at the why and really talking to people about the why, this data is free for you guys to use. If you look at the next slide, our workplace age progression, in 2030, the average age of the workforce is going to be greater than 46 years old. That is just staggering. And again, this is through, we have got this one is sourced from our NCCER website, and then some of our other research that we have been doing through our whole research part of NCCER. If you look at the next one, the skilled labor supply and demand gap, if you look at the fact that we will need 2.6 million individuals by 2028, the anticipated peak of non-residential labor demand is going to be at 8.5 million. The current workforce, the current non-residential labor workforce is at 5.9 million. And again, the potential shortage being at 2.6 million by 2028. Again, this is from our CLMA Foresight report. And then the next one I love to put alongside, and while I know maybe you guys are not that CTE, but I like to look at the effects of training and what training can do to help our industry partners. So if you look at the top line of 57% of people in workforce retirement age by 2038, and then the bottom really signifies we've got people that enter the industry. New hire begins in 2023. How long, if they're going to go through 4+ years of just craft training that gets them to be minimally competent, another 4 years that it takes to get them, maybe 3 to 5 years to get them to journey level. And then you look at what does it take to get them to be a seasoned craft professional? It's taking all of that time. And then we've got people that'll be 57% of the workforce retirement happening by 2038. If you go to the next slide, we like to share this only because it shows what does craft training do for our industry partners and really helping them understand. And I show this when I'm in a group of owners, when I'm in a group of just contractors. Why are you not investing in programs that are training? If you look at the difference in what it takes to get someone up to where they are journey level competent, and then where they are a seasoned craft professional, with 3 years of CTE, starting at 2024, you've got folks that are starting, maybe they're starting in their junior year of high school, maybe they're going into a community college program. The number of years that it cuts down for getting someone to where they are journey level, to where they're actually really able to perform at journey level potential. This cuts it down tremendously, saving an employer approximately $5,000 to $15,000 per year for an individual that started training out in CTE. This is just really critical for people to understand why our industry should be supporting other organizations that are doing training and getting people to where they are ready to start work and they are more competent at the upstart, not having to go through training completely while they're starting as an industry within the industry. And so we like to share these slides just because they tell a story. Then the other thing that I wanted to mention was Hammer Math. I am not sure how much you guys are familiar with Hammer Math. And while we are offering this up free for our folks that are in high school programs, Hammer Math is a program that helps students learn math by using what we call a big inch. It can be done on paper. It can be done through a block format. but this just helps to demonstrate math through practical hands-on applications. We always talk about applied math being the way to go. And so I really just wanted to share, if you're interested, because I'm not going to be able to dive in, but if you go to the next two slides, they really are showing a little bit of like what the program does. It includes engaging applied math education, exercises, and projects. It is a cost for non-K-12 instructors, but I think what we're seeing is that even adults have issues with math. And so I do feel like if you look at the success stories, we are seeing that people are finding that Hammer Math is helpful. If you're interested, I just want you to reach out. I'll get you connected to the people that manage Hammer Math, and you can add this as an exercise in your program. Then I've only got a couple more slides. So I want to just show you, if you are an instructor, if you go to the next slide, we have a LinkedIn forum. We also have a Facebook page for instructors. And so I would highly recommend that you get engaged. This allows you to get some free resources from NCCER. It allows you to engage with other instructors. And we'd love to have you guys get connected within our LinkedIn and the Facebook forums. On the next slide, it really does show connection map for education. It allows you to locate people to help facilitate a visit on a project site. So being able to connect with industry partners so that maybe you can take advantage of an industry partner being able to set up a time to visit your classroom. Ask, whether there's internships available, mentor programs, things like that. So definitely join our Get Connected for Education map. And then we have a Find a Center. How do you find other NCCER programs? Find a Center is available off of our website. And that is it. I was like right at time. I didn't want to like cut into our other presenters' time, but there is my contact information, both my phone, that is my cell phone number, and then also my email. So I'd love to be able to connect with you if you have questions about anything, if you want to connect on any other resources we might have. Just want you to feel like you can get connected.
Thank you so much, Kathy. Would you mind dropping that into the chat for
Oh,
people as we move on, in case they don't have a
absolutely.
chance to quickly write that down?
Yeah.
And then Kathy is our point of contact for NCCER. Any questions for Kathy that anyone might have while we have her here?
And I'll stay on in case something comes up. So feel free.
Well, thank you, Kathy.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for letting me do that. I know I went fast, but thank you so much. I
Yeah,
really appreciate it.
that was great. Uh, Anybody have a question for Kathy? You want to put into chat or to come off mute and ask? All right. Well, and thank you, Kathy, for dropping her contact information there in chat. Obviously, you can follow up with her after today's presentation. Up next, we have Jack from TradesFuture, and Jack's going to share his screen and navigate through the slides. And Jack, you might be on mute.
How about, am I good now?
There we go. Gotcha.
Perfect. All right. Awesome. Let me start this from the beginning. All right, I hope everyone can see that okay. Thank you so much for having me. I'm here on behalf of TradesFuture's Apprenticeship Readiness Program, talking a little bit about TradesFutures. We are a newer organization that some of you may be familiar with, some of you not. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about the organization itself, our curriculum, and then some relevant updates to the curriculum coming in the near future. So TradesFutures is a new 501c3 nonprofit that was stood up by North America's Building Trades Unions, NAB2, and other stakeholders and contractor partners to really focus on these apprenticeship readiness programs, which are designed to be pathways for all individuals, but with a focus on those who were historically underserved in the building trades to get into the construction trades and have an opportunity and a pathway into these construction careers. When this initiative first started back in 2008, we had a handful of apprenticeship readiness programs and a few hundred students that went through the programs. It was run out of NAB2's Department of Education, and Dr. Tom Krieger is the director there, who you may be familiar with. As we expanded, we now have over, and I'll touch on this in a little bit, we have over 200 programs. We have over 5,000 participants that go through our programs. So we expanded very rapidly. And it became evident that we needed a new organization that could really focus on apprenticeship readiness programs, dedicate, a full staff, a full time into the programs and helping set up the programs and keeping the curriculum up to date. So that really led to the launch of Trades Futures. The apprenticeship readiness programs in the MC3, that's the main thing we're going to talk about today. I just wanted to highlight our other initiatives as well. We have childcare pilots in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and New York City. And we also have an HBCU scholarship initiative where we sponsor scholarships to selected HBCU students. And we also had our first two summer interns this past summer from HBCUs as well, which was really great to have them in the office and have their assistance and give them some good experience as well. So more on the apprenticeship readiness programs. We at Trades Futures, we really sponsor and administer the MC3 curriculum. It was gifted to us from NAB2. Our role is to really help get programs up and running and provide technical assistance and administer that curriculum and update that curriculum as needed. We're all familiar with the phrase pre-apprenticeship on this call. At Trades Futures, we use apprenticeship readiness, and really the idea behind that is, we're looking to take on individuals who might not have any experience with the building trades, with any of the crafts, and to bring them in, introduce them to the construction industry, introduce them to the different career pathways, the different crafts that are available to them, and allow them to make, the decision that's best for them and what craft they think they'll be most successful in. And we hope in turn that, that will help them in terms of their retention and registered apprenticeship after they complete their apprenticeship readiness program, because they're able to make the decision that's right for them. They're able to find that right fit, and will continue on in their registered apprenticeship and hopefully into that journey worker status. As I said before, the multi-craft core curriculum was gifted to us by NAB2. It was originally developed by the 14 national training directors of NAB2's affiliated crafts, and really was put together again to provide, those professional skills, those industry skills, really what it takes, to be a successful apprentice. So it's coming from each of our affiliated crafts and their training directors. So it's designed by the trades for the trades. I touched on this a little bit before. As I said, we started off with a handful of programs back in 2008. We're now up to over 200 programs. Again, and it's really designed to be, a gateway for local residents, with a focus on women, people of color, the justice involved, transitioning veterans, all people to gain access to registered apprenticeship programs and really, middle-class construction careers. Since 2016, we've had nearly 13,000 complete the program, 80% of which identified as a person of color and 20% identified as women. So, really going into communities and giving opportunities to those who maybe didn't have those opportunities historically in the building trades. So how our ARPs work is they will be administered by the local or state building trades councils. So the first step before you come to us to get access to the MC3 curriculum will be to develop that partnership and relationship with your local building trades council. And we need to receive that approval from your trades council at Trades Futures to start moving that implementation phase forward. And the idea behind that is Trades Futures is a national organization. We're headquartered in Washington, D.C. we don't always know what's going on at the local level, whereas your state or local building trades council will. They'll have an idea of the demand, the projects. They'll help you build relationships with those local unions and JATCs. So that's why, we want to have that council on board and very involved in that implementation process for your program. And then again, encourage to partner with community-based organizations, contractors, government agencies, women's organizations, you know, probation departments, any and all organizations that can help you reach into the different communities and provide those opportunities, and help you develop and support your apprenticeship readiness program. Um, yeah, and just a note there again, the relationships and council involvement with your ARP is to help keep the local workforce in mind, and have a sense of what's going on at the local level, to make those connections for your graduates when they eventually are placed into registered apprenticeship. So it's really the key to success of our model. So I know some of you are familiar with the curriculum, but just want to go over an overview of it. Um, You'll see here, this is the MC3. On that left side, as it stands, those are the MC3 required units. That's a total of 104 hours, and then we ask for you to decide on 16 elective hours for a total of 120 instructional hours. You can add on to that if you'd like, but that's the minimum amount of hours we require for the MC3 certificate. So just going down the list, Unit 1, construction industry, construction trades awareness. Really just an introduction to the construction industry, the building trades, registered apprenticeship, what to expect in the industry, what to expect in a registered apprenticeship program. Again, keeping in mind that many of our participants might not have any experience with the construction trades. So really to provide that, construction trades 101 introduction for them. Unit 2, tools and materials. So we require a hands-on component here. Most of our programs will fulfill that by either taking their classes to one of our local training centers or to the job site. But we really want to have students introduced to, what the job is going to look like, and what that training is going to look like at our training centers. For Unit 3, that's going to be our construction health and safety. So this is where we ask them to get the CPR and first aid, as well as OSHA. And then we also have an additional 2 hours for women's health and safety. And really that's designed to, help individuals be an ally on the job site, to our women workers. And then Unit 5, construction math. This is a big bulk of the curriculum, and it's designed that way. We have a lot of participants who come in and maybe don't have a lot of math experience. It's really designed to give them an introduction to construction applied math, and what math they'll be using on the job site. The math portion continues to be a little bit of a challenge. We have participants who come in and have a very, not a lot of experience with math in general. So, we dedicate a lot of time in the curriculum to that. In addition to that, we also offer pipe trades prep and electric trades prep. That's just additional math work. The electric trades prep is designed really solely for the electrician's craft, whereas the pipe trades prep can provide additional instruction. It was designed for the pipe trades, but it really applies to most all of the crafts as well. So those additional resources are available through us too. Unit 6 is the heritage of the American worker. That's really looking at the history of the labor movement and the history of the building trades. Unit 7, diversity in the construction industry. So, just again, talking about diversity, awareness, and sexual harassment, how to identify it, how to deal with it, how to be an ally to those who have dealt with it in the past. Very important unit 7 there. And then the MC3 elective units, we have blueprint reading, green construction, which I'm going to touch on a little bit more in just a little bit, and Unit 9, financial literacy. For the green construction, we have partnered with Urban Green Council to offer a Fundamentals of Green Construction certificate. So if your students complete the 8-hour version of that unit, they can go ahead and enroll through us in Urban Green and take Urban Green's exam, which is based off those materials in Unit 8, and earn their Fundamentals of Green Construction certificate through Urban Green if they do pass that exam. And then just to touch on Unit 9, financial literacy, you know, financial literacy obviously is a professional skill for all of us, but it's especially important in the construction trades with the the seasonal nature of the industry, and especially when individuals are first getting into their apprenticeship program. How to be responsible with that first paycheck, and moving forward, how to plan ahead for maybe off construction season. So that's where the curriculum is right now. I'm going to touch on change that's going to be coming up for the green construction unit, but just wanted to give an overview of the curriculum and what this looks like. So this is all housed in our learning management system. So when you are registered as an instructor or register your students, you will be given access to our learning management system. In there, for each unit, you're going to have lesson plans. You're going to have flip books that can be used online or saved to PDF, printed to PDF, to get on paper as well. There's instructor PowerPoints, handouts, exercises, videos. That's all going to be housed in the learning management system. And each unit will have those resources that are downloadable. So, if you want to stay electronic, you can. If you want to print and be on paper, you can as well. What we do have additionally is a traditional version of these units and a full online asynchronous version of these units. So traditional, designed to be, in that traditional classroom setting, and asynchronous, designed to be completed fully online by students. Both those options are there. You can use one, you can use both. We have a lot of programs who use kind of a hybrid approach. So they'll have, the traditional in classroom units used during the day in the classroom, and then maybe assign homework in those asynchronous units. So it's very flexible in the way you can use those units. And again, everything housed in our learning management system. But just wanted to touch on that. And then also want to touch on our cooperative agreement with the Department of Labor and National Urban League. We were awarded a cooperative agreement with the DOL, really designed to continue that expansion of our ARPs across the country. It's close to 20 million over 4 years. We really wanted to focus on 4 states, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Missouri, and Tennessee. That was really based on the demand and the large scale projects that are taking place in those states. We also awarded funding to 10 additional programs across other states nationwide. But again, just an agreement, that came forth to continue the expansion that's been taking place now for, over 15 years. And, we're excited to partner with the National Urban League as well. They're going to be, essential for recruitment and supportive services for participants in our apprenticeship readiness programs in those states and nationwide. So just wanted to touch on, a big initiative we have there. In terms of updates for this group, Unit 8. So right now, as you saw before, Unit 8 Green Construction is an elective outside of the state of California. NAB2's Apprenticeship and Training Committee voted to have this unit become required beginning of 2025, so January 1st, 2025. That's going to be 8 hours required. We're also going to add some additional modules in there that will cover hydrogen, solar, wind, and nuclear projects. It's likely, and sorry that got cut off there, it's likely going to be 8 hours. We're going to confirm that with the Apprenticeship and Training Committee in their next meeting in December, but we're likely going to be pushing for that to be an 8-hour required unit. And then just wanted to touch on train the trainer sessions. If you are currently offering the MC3 and you would like to have additional train the trainer or trainers trained, our remaining 2024 sessions are full. We've had a lot of demand to train instructors, but if we get increased demand, we do have a spot that we may add in December for an additional 2024 session. So we're keeping an eye out. If we do get enough requests, we may add an additional session there for instructors. We'll be finalizing our 2025 schedule this week. So be on the lookout for that. That'll be on our TradesFutures website, which is tradesfutures.org. Or you can additionally reach out to our ARP coordinator, Tangi Gilliam, who can assist with any inquiries or with registration for Train the Trainer schedules. But yeah, that's it from us. Just a few brief updates there and an overview. I'm happy to answer any questions that might be outstanding. But again, thank you for having me today. I really appreciate it.
Hey, Jack, thank you for joining too. Also, if you would also drop your contact information into the chat, that would be great.
Absolutely.
It does look like we have a question came in
Mhm.
from Robert. Can you share the Train the Trainer curriculum?
Yeah, so the Train the Trainer is it'll be a Wednesday and Thursday twice a month. Those sessions are 3.5 hours, and they're really going to provide you with a more detailed detailed overview of the curriculum, as well as get you into the LMS and introduce you to the LMS and how that will work. Um, so yeah, I mean that's it for the Train the Trainer. Really, just an overview of the curriculum, the learning management system. The instructors for those sessions will also have you go in, pick a unit, and present on that unit to your group. So really designed to give you a deep dive of the MC3 curriculum.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it, Jack. Anyone else have a question for Jack before we go move on? Want to make sure we take advantage of having him here with us today and talking to us about trades futures. All right. Well, again, Jack's dropping his information into chat. We're gonna, you'll have that to be able to reach out to him if you have any questions following today. Again, Jack, thank you for making the time in our schedule to join us and answer these questions and talk about what's coming down the road in the future. Pretty interesting, exciting stuff, both from your organization and the NCCER. So lots of things to look forward to. For those everyone here on the call, we always want to get your feedback, so it's that time. Would like you to go to www.menti.com and enter 25067427. Use that menti.com 25067427. You can use your phone, you can use your desktop, and this will be a way for us to collect some feedback to you from you about today's presentations and this Toolbox Tuesday. We are always looking for your feedback and ways we can improve, and today's no different. We're going to be getting that. So again, go to menti.com 25067427. And it looks like we already have someone out there with us. So let's get a few more and we'll move forward into the evaluation side of things. All right, I see a few of you jumping over now to make that transition. Really going to appreciate the feedback. So use the code 25067427 when you get to menti.com and when you open that up. All right. I know there's about 20 of us online, so I want to get as many responses as we can. I really appreciate your feedback. All right. So please share your views on this training by rating the following statements from 1 to 10, with 1 as the lowest and 10 as the highest. To what extent did it meet your expectations? How likely are you to attend a similar event in the future? And how likely are you to recommend this Toolbox Tuesday to others? if you'd give us some feedback. And by the way, the presentations are being shared with us as well. And we'll put those up, and the recording will go up as well. So lots of good data shared from both presentations. You may need to pass on to others. All right, thank you for those that we've got. Great, got 8. Looks like 8 people, 9 out there. Awesome. We're almost up to that 50%. That's great. Let's move on to the next question. On a scale of 1 to 5, where 1 is strongly disagree, 5 is strongly agree, the course was relevant to what I wanted to learn about the subject matter for NCCER updates and TradesFuture updates. Did it cover the mark for you? Again, it doesn't always put these numbers in order, so do take a close look. You want to make sure to give us the right feedback here. Looks like I'm getting some strongly agrees coming in, some somewhat agree, neither agree or disagree, kind of in the middle there. But got a lot of strongly agrees. That's great. Appreciate the feedback again. This is really helpful. Move on to the next question. I plan to learn what I apply. I plan to apply what I learned. Let me flip that around. I plan to apply what I learned. Strongly disagree is again the lowest, and strongly agree is the highest. So give us that 1. All right. Looks here, we're getting some good response. Great. I'm glad this is helpful and it's something that you can put into application. That's great. And you got their contact information, so you can also reach directly out. Both Jack and Kathy are new for us this year too, with our representation, and really glad to have them joining the team for their organizations. So, what improvements might you recommend for future Toolbox Tuesday sessions? Do you have any recommendations on how you might improve this session in future? NA is always welcome. Thank you for that. Appreciate you putting that out there. If you have an NA not applicable, you can nothing to add. Feel free just to put that in there. If you do have something, you can drop it in. I would love to get your feedback here. Any recommendations? I agree, it was a good program. Really appreciated the time and learned a lot of information. A lot of surprises too, things I didn't know. I picked up on, so things I'm going to take and carry on to other grantees. So hope you got that as well. All right, moving on. What did you find effective? If we make changes, what would you recommend we keep? Anything you would specifically call out that we would want to make sure we keep as a part of future Toolbox Tuesday sessions? Anything you'd recommend? All right, is all good? Looks like everybody we're good with that. Keep it. Again, anything you would want to highlight? I just want to say I think it's great having the representatives right from the organizations be a part of these meetings. It's just nice to hear directly from them about what's happening and peeking into the future a little bit. And then lastly here, is there anything else about this course, about the Toolbox Tuesday you think we should know? Anything else you would add? Feel free to drop that in this last question. And I'm going to leave it up and running so you can drop it in there. We'd like to hear from you. So anything else? And again, NA is always welcome. And I'm going to pop back over. Those of you that have to run, again, thank you for your time. We're glad to have you as part of our provider network. To Jack and Kathy, thank you so much for your time and all the different calendar schedule changes and technology hurdles we overcame today. Glad to have you here, and thank you for being a part of our team and supporting us going forward. And for everybody, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Please make sure you finish out that menti.com, add any feedback in there. We want to hear from you, and wish everyone a great day. We'll be logging out here just shortly.